Head coach of Newton Eagles, Jason Fulton here. Jason, you struggled a little bit last year, but what are some of the keys to not let that happen again this year?
The biggest thing that happened last year was we had some bad injuries, within our main core players, and just kind of some freak things. So that really obviously hurt us. As the season progressed, and we got better and better as the season progressed, as we other guys started stepping up, and it's just very disappointing what happened last year. We had such a great playoff run 8 years in a row, and then all of a sudden that snapped. So hopefully we can get back on track, stay injury free, and play some good football.
So at the quarterback spot this year, you got Max Meinhardt. What have you noticed out of him this year, but also what do you look as far as him progressing into being the catalyst this year?
Last year was a huge learning curve for him. He, as a sophomore, he played some great football at the JV level. Came in last year and started, and had some growing pains for sure. But I think he's really matured over the summer, made himself a lot better. So we're really excited about Max. He's doing a great job, and we've got a really good running game that goes along with that, and that should help him out from the quarterback spot. So I like his leadership, and I think that really carried over. Or from baseball, I should say. He's a really good baseball guy. He was one of our top guys on the mound, and he really showed some guts and leadership, and I think that's really carried over into this football season. I can already see a young man that's really starting to mature.
Max, talk to me about this offseason. You really progressed as well as a quarterback has, but at the quarterback position, what kind of offseason work did you put in?
This offseason, I just focused on staying in the weight room and working on my ball, getting a better spiral, hitting targets, and just all around better throwing.
Let's go. Let's go. All right, let's go. Fire. Let's go. Fire.
Yeah.
There we go.
Do you see it?
All right, let's go.
Find it, find it, find it. Put your head down.
Let's go. All right, let's go. All right, let's go. All right, let's go.
Who are the players that have stood out to you the most?
To me, the players who have stood out the most are probably Tar and Gus Bierman. They've both put in really good amounts of work in the weight room. You can definitely tell they've gotten stronger, and definitely on the field.
Tar on the linebacker's position. On the defensive side, what are you doing as far as replacing Jacob Wickham and trying to get an even stronger defense this year?
I think the main thing is just moving some stuff around, keeping the defense moving. Jacob brought a lot of power to the table, so I think this year we're just going to try and replace some of that power with speed. Move around, fly around, get to the ball as fast as possible.
What has been the biggest progression in you this offseason to be that big impact player on defense?
A lot of it comes from the weight room. Put in that offseason grind down there, get as much work in as possible, and then getting out to the field and working on footwork. But also, we got a lot of blue-collar guys coming in this year, so we got some guys that have been out pouring concrete, working hot days under the sun, so we got a lot of rough guys coming in.
Attack grip. There you go. Coach attack.
Gus, what do you enjoy so much about football?
Definitely the atmosphere, especially on Friday nights. Just the fans. I play basketball and baseball. There's nothing as loud and as exciting as when something big happens on the field. And also just the atmosphere with all the other players getting hyped. It's just a great feeling, a lot of adrenaline rush, and I know everybody loves that feeling.
What have you done specifically in the offseason to be a much improved player?
I've been watching film of last season. We play a lot of the same teams every year, so it helps to kind of see their tendencies. Every year, of course, they do different things, a little bit different things, but usually teams like to stick to the same things that work year in and year out. So finding their tendencies, seeing what they're trying to run. A lot of the same players are coming back, like a lot of seniors. So seeing their tendencies and seeing what they're usually trying to do helps out a lot.
Let's go.
As far as the defensive role, how do you replace like Jacob Wickham and be better, if not as good as last year with him?
It'll be tough, but we definitely got guys that can step up to the challenge. Evan Botzel has worked his tail off this summer. He will be very good, and we got a lot of defensive ends who can replace him.
So as a senior, what are some of the things as a quarterback you would like to work on this year to be a better player?
This year, number one, I just want to focus on winning. Number two, I want to be a good teammate. Stand up for the little guys, make sure they know what they're doing.
As far as Jacob Wickham's standpoint, he graduated. You're taking over that kind of role too now. What do you have to do to be that person that people talk about?
Basically be very talkative, be a leader on the field. Playing defense from sophomore year on, I've learned my role. I've been the same role all 3 years now. Helping others. I mean, we have some big sophomores and juniors coming in on the line to help fill Jacob Wickham's spot, and they're big, they're strong, and just trying to help them learn his position, learn what to do, and learn when to do it. I think it's a big key.
What players have stood out to you the most in practice?
Probably number one is Wade Wickham. He's actually kind of a backup quarterback, but his speed is amazing. He was hurt all last season, got hurt first game, but I mean, he's a running back, he's a linebacker, he does it all. He's a great football player. And then there's some seniors that were like Evan Botzel. He's a DN, he's aggressive, he's tall. Tar, of course, he's obviously really good. He's a great running back. I think Max Meinhardt's really going to have a standout senior quarterback season. I think he's looking really good too.
Defensive side, you obviously lose guys like Jacob Wickham. What type of defense are you looking at as far as maybe you can kind of help be a tone setter this year still?
I think maybe that's probably the strength of our team is our defense this year. You know, replacing a guy like Jacob Wickham is tough. He's a great player for us for 4 years, and tremendous guy. And now you got to go and say, okay, we've got to replace some of these spots, and I think we've done a pretty good job with that, with changing our scheme up a little bit, trying to get as much speed on the field as we possibly can. And Jacob's brother Wade is a big part of that. He was injured last year in the first game, wasn't able to play for the rest of the season. So getting him back is huge for us this year on both sides of the ball.
Some of the players that have stood out to you the most in practice, who would that be?
Well, I think you'll start with our two captains, Tar and Gus Spearman. Guys have been starting for us basically since our freshman year, and just their true leadership on the field, but just the dedication and what they've put into it, and they're just flying around. Can't say enough about Isaac Flowers, running back again. He missed a lot last season to an injury. The young man's worked tremendously hard getting ready for this season. A heck of a baseball player, and he's worked really hard at that. And but he's not slacked off from the football side of it. So really happy with the progression he's making. I talked about Wade a little bit. Isaac and Wade together is a pretty nice punch in the backfield. But Evan Zumballen is on the offensive side, has done a great job. Evan Botzel on the defensive side, at defensive end, is going to be a force for us. And we got some nice young linebackers, Cole Phillips and Colton Bartholomew and Logan Oakes, and Peyton Harris at corner, who's a starter from last year, for 2 years basically. So he come back as a senior. He's I think defensively those guys have really stood out, and I really think that they'll put together a nice product on the field.
As far as conference-wise, how do you feel like it shakes out for you guys, kind of having those returning guys back?
Well, it should help us. We got some experience. We bring back a lot of experience. Bring back a lot of lettermans. We got the guys that play quite a bit. Conference is going to be tough. It's tough every year. Mount Carmel right now is definitely at the top. I don't think anybody would argue with me on that. Throughout the conference, their senior class is really loaded. It's going to be a tough football game. Casey, I think, could be really, really solid. They brought back quite a bit. And I think, after that, I think we're right in the mix with the rest of them. Robinson, us, even Casey, throw that in there. Marshall, Lawrenceville, Alney. They're all capable of beating each beating on each other every week and see what happens. But I think we can compete with all those teams. And not that we can't compete with Mount Carmel. I just know that they're at that upper level right now. With Blaine Sisson is the real deal. There's just no doubt about it. But I like our conference. I think it's very competitive. Something's going to be interesting in our conference this year is a lot of new head coaches. I think there's 5 new head coaches in the conference. So, I'm getting to be the old guy in this conference. So it's that's going to be interesting. As you coach against somebody for a long time, you kind of know a little bit what they're doing. So now you have 5 new coaches, 5 taking on 5 teams that you got to kind of prepare maybe a little bit differently for because you don't know them as well. But it should be a lot of fun.
As you mentioned in the conference, I know you mentioned Mount Carmel could be a lead dog, but what type of pressure does that put on you guys? Maybe kind of getting you guys to be a better team that way too.
Well, there's no doubt you got to raise your level when you play teams like that. We want to compete. Obviously we want to win. And so you can't win unless you go out and compete hard against good teams. You want to prepare yourself and play good teams. And we're kind of doing that to start the season with Shelbyville. It was a very good football team. They were a 9-2 team last year, return a really good quarterback. And then we've taken on Paxton Buckley Loda, and they've got a running back that's probably maybe a Division I type running back. So, we are having to prep ourselves early in this season to get to play a top team like in Mount Carmel. So that's our job, is get prepped to play tough football, and we should want to compete against good teams. Let's go over right. Make that tackle. Move with you. Clear. I want him. I want to go here, and I'm going down hard. Through him. Okay. Through. So make him turn. Come on, DNs.
As far as the conference, I know last year wasn't what you guys would like to be in the conference, but what are some of the keys to get over the hump and be a contention in conference?
This year, everyone just needs to show up to practice. We had a big issue of people not coming. This year, everyone's been working hard. Everyone's been showing up. I think we'll be good this year.
As far as the conference, Mount Carmel, Paris, Lawrenceville, you have a select few of conference teams that you're playing, but what do you have to do to contend in the conference this year?
I think definitely is everyone needs to be watching film. We need to find what they're really loving doing, whether it's a heavy run game, heavy pass game. We need to see look at their defense every day. Also, a lot of the guys I know, especially Casey, we've got them both 2 years in a row now, and they've been a good team. And I think it's just seeing what they're doing, really studying. We need to do that more for Lawrenceville, Paris, Robinson, stuff like that, Mount Carmel. I think they're all going to be real good this year. So I think just studying their plays, their tendencies, and you just got to get after it on the field.
The key guys who have stood out to you the most in practice?
I definitely got to go with Gus Bierman, one of my fellow captains. He's done a lot for the team this year, just being there throughout everything. And then also some of the other seniors, Peyton Harris, Evan Zumball, and Wade Wickham. Wade Wickham's come back off of a hard collarbone injury last football season, and then he had a slight ankle sprain during the track season, pole vaulting. But I think all those guys are going to be some of our key players, going to have a lot to do with the role that's going to be played on this team and how we're going to do on every Friday night.
Do you guys consider yourself more of a sleeper team this year, or do you consider yourself more of putting the work in to be a contender?
I think we got to put the work in. We got a lot of good guys, but we're definitely a team that's going to have to put the work in, study the playbook, know what we're doing all the time while we're on the field.
As far as in the conference, Mount Carmel's quarterback Blaine Sisson, SIU Carbondale commit. How do you tackle him, but also not let him beat you when it comes to conference-wise?
Blaine Sisson, I got to shout it out to him. He's a great player. You got to love the way and the style that he plays with. But our main goal with him is just kind of keeping him inside the pocket. Don't let him get out. Don't let him scramble. And then just be smart. If you got to give him a few extra yards to get that angle on him, to get him down. But I really think we're going to be able to control him this year.
Can this team be more of a sleeper team, or what can the ceiling be for the squad?
When you go, we were 3-6 last year, and you go 3-6, and I'm sure people probably are not looking at us as a force, in the conference this year. And so, yes, we have the opportunity to sneak up on some people. There's no doubt in my mind. But I think, you know, Newton, here at Newton, it's always been established as a good, you know, football school. And we've had some ups and downs, there's no doubt about it. We've had some good years and we've had some bad years throughout the whole, you know, over 100 years of football here. So, you know, we want to try to keep our tradition going and putting a good product on the field. But, you know, I love being the underdog, there's no doubt, if you can sneak up and get a team here and there. But I think people know when we roll in, we're going to give them our very best to them every time.
What excites you the most for this upcoming season?
This season, I'd say I just mostly like to focus on the home games. There's not an atmosphere like a football game. It's unbelievable. I'm really excited for it.
What excites you the most about this upcoming season and team?
Mainly, I'll start with the team. We got some tough kids. We got some kids that even whenever they get knocked down a little bit, they're going to get right back up. They're tough. And for the season, I mean, our main goal is what every team's is: go out, win some games, and just mainly we want to have some fun with these kids.
I think we're going to put an unexpected season together. We got a lot of guys that, I mean, we got a bunch of farm boys is what it is, a bunch of farm strong kids. I don't think a lot of people are expecting, actually, a lot of us, because out of a lot. But we have a lot of seniors gone from last year. But I think the ceiling is, I think we could definitely make it to playoffs. I mean, we got a lot of good leadership in our seniors. I think ceiling is definitely playoffs and maybe beyond that.
You guys open this season next Friday, the 25th, hosting Shelbyville. Tell me about what it's like here, playing under the lights with the home crowd on you.
Yeah, so Newton's, for as long as I can remember, been a football town. I remember coming to games as a young kid. Dad's always been a coach. It's always been a big deal for not just my family, but the whole town. So just being able to grow up and play in that atmosphere is just something amazing and something that you've always dreamed of, and can't wait to get out there.
Speaking of next Friday, the 25th, for the season opener, what excites you the most about actually starting the season?
You know, I think it's the chance of redemption of not having the best season we could have had last year. It was disappointing. You know, we felt going into last season we had a team that could really go and compete, and we just didn't get the job done. So the chance to come back, put a good team on the field again and have that opportunity, you know, it's special. I think in Illinois it's special to have to make the playoffs. And you know, there's a lot of states that you're in it automatically, no matter what. You lose all your games, you still go to the playoffs and have a chance to win state championship. And that's not how it works here in Illinois. And I just think that's a special thing for us. So we've got to compete. I just, you know, hope that these kids will, you know, understand how fun this is. And I talk to guys. You know, I'll see guys up at the gas station when they played for me several years ago, and they talk about how much they miss it. And that's the thing, you can't get these years back. You know, it's just lasting memories and great memories, and I want them to enjoy. And that's what our job is as coaches. We want to compete, we want to win, but also we were trying to create a great atmosphere and great memories for these guys that they can carry within the rest of their lives.
Coach, you're entering your 17th year as a head coach. What excites you the most about being a head coach?
You know, I still love the game a lot. I still love being around the kids, and you know, I think that keeps us young, keeps rejuvenating us. You know, I think about, I started my 27th year as coaching football and as a teacher, and you know, as we start this school year, and that's, I guess I shouldn't say I never thought I'd get here, but it's just those years have kind of flown by. And I always thought about how long, I've always felt like Coach Horst was here, Coach Bob Horst, who I took over for and played for. I thought, oh wow, he was at Newton for a long time. And now, as I enter in this year, I've actually been at Newton longer than he has. I think he was here 23 years. I think it's my 24th year at Newton. So that's these years have flown by, but I really enjoy, you know, the kids. I really enjoy my staff. My staff's been so great, and I've had great guys help me over the years, and I just appreciate those guys so much. But it's just it's a great sport. I love coaching. You know, I like teaching, and it's just you know, it's something that I've enjoyed my whole life. And you know, things have changed obviously over the years. It's definitely changed a lot, and we've had to adjust to some things, and some things are frustrating. I'm sure that goes with any job in the world, but you know, we just kind of get by that and keep going. And you know, there's nothing like seeing a smile on a kid's face after a big win on Friday night. That really, you know, that's what it's all about when it comes down to it.
Coach, thanks for your time. Coach Jason Fulton here at Newton. I appreciate you taking the time with me. Good luck this season. Good luck to the Newton Eagles.
Hey, appreciate it. Thanks for the coverage, and you do a great job. And kids really appreciate it. We appreciate it. I know the community appreciates it. So we're going to do our very best for everybody, and hopefully we'll be talking more in the postseason. Good job, Dave. RC 1, 2, 3. RC. Good job. Good job, Dave. All righty.